Okay. Good evening to each and every one of you. Right. So this is the third online class which is conducted for the 2028 batch online. So last week we started Unit 2. I hope it was not that much for my expectation. I was not satisfied for that session because there were some technical glitches that took place. So I was not able to complete the carbohydrate portion. I started it, but still I didn't complete that. So what we'll do today is first we'll just revise what we learned last week. Right? We have completed Unit 1. Now we are in Unit 2, and we did until carbohydrates monosaccharide part. Right? So no worries if you haven't revised it. So what we'll do is we'll just revise it. Right? Roughly we'll revise what we learned last week. Okay. Okay. Now this is the thing. Right? We have started Unit 2. Right? Unit 2. So unit 2 starts with an introduction to elements, right? You might have learned about elements in your O-level chemistry, right? So here they are saying that in Earth's crust, right? So on Earth's crust, there are how many elements? 92 elements, right? How many elements? 92 elements. What are elements? You can remember some elements, right? Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur. Those are elements, right? In the periodic table. So in Earth's crust, 92 elements are present in chips, right? From these 92 elements, they are saying how many percent? See here, 20 to 25%. 20 to 25% of the elements are required for healthy life, healthy life and reproduction. Reproduction, right? 20 25%, right? And they are saying from this 92 elements, 25 elements are required for humans, and 17 elements are required for plants. It seems they haven't given why, where it is required, how it is contributing it. They haven't given those. We'll be learning this in our unit number 5, and those unit number 4 and number 5 will be studying about elements contribution to humans as well as plants, right? We'll be learning about that in unit number 4 and unit 5. So here they are giving just an introduction, right? Okay. So they are saying elements like carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen. What are the four elements? Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen. These elements cover almost 96% of living matter, it seems. Living matter. Just think our human body. We are one of the living matter, right? So they are saying if a living organism present, 96% of their elemental composition is composed, or it is covered by these four elements systems. What are they? Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen. It's easy, right? Just four elements. These four cover 96% of the living matter, it seems. So remaining 4% is covered by calcium, phosphorus, potassium, and sulfur. These four elements, right? And they are saying certain there are other elements like iron, cobalt, molybdenum, copper, sodium, magnesium. There are lots of elements, right? Those elements, wait a minute, right? Those elements are contributing in trace amounts. But us, sir, almost 100% is completed here. You are saying trace amounts. How come it trace amounts? Now you see, uh, now here we are taking as a whole number. This trace amount means it can be 0.000000001% means something like this. It has a contribution like this. It is very, very small amounts, right? This is what they are giving introduction under elements, right? The first part. See here, the note gives this this complete note speaks about this complete idea. There are 92 elements in our Earth's crust. 20-25% elements are required for healthy life and reproduction. Among them, 25 elements are required for humans and 17 for plants. Oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen are required for 96% of it covers the 96% of living matter. Calcium, phosphorus, potassium, sulfur covers almost 4% in humans. Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. This is a rough amount, right? This is the accurate amount. This is a rough amount. You see here, this wait. This is an overall, or it's an approximate amount. This is the accurate amount, but in exams they'll be asking this amount, right? So better you remember this 96% and 4%. They won't be asking 96.3 or those things. Just remember this 96 and 4, right? And they're saying about this. What are they? The body mass, calcium, phosphorus, and magnesium, and trace elements are covering remaining. These are trace elements, right? Okay. This was the first interaction part. This is clear, right? No doubt about this. It's a simple idea, right? Is it clear? I hope it's clear. Give me a quick response if is it clear. Is it clear? So we can move on. Right? I hope it's clear. Right? Okay. Now let's move on to the further informations. Right? Now if you see they're speaking about something called water. Right? We are familiar to this, right? So water. They are saying water is a vital component for living organisms. Right? Without water we can't survive. Now we should understand the biological aspect of this, right? Now we just know that water is required, it is a vital component, okay, but we should know the importance of water in biological aspect, in the its contribution biologically, right? So they are saying water has main two vitality. It is vital because it acts as a biological medium in living organisms. First one, why it is important? First, it acts as a biological medium. Biological medium means it involves in transporting, it is involving in exchanging, right? It is acting as a medium for transmission, right? Second one, it acts as a chemical constituent. What? Chemical constituent. If you consider cells, cells contain this. If you consider saliva, saliva contains water, right? If you consider blood plasma, they contain water, right? So it is considered, it is acting as a constituent, right? It is acting as a chemical constituent. These are the two reasons why water acts as an important molecule, right? This is the main two reasons actually, right? After giving the reasons, they are going into the chemical structure of water, right? How water looks like, right? Now we know from our O-level knowledge, water has a chemical symbol of H2O. Am I right? Right. So they're speaking further about the structure. If you see, it will be looking like this, right? Water will be looking like this. You'll be learning in your A-level chemistry that it has an angular shape, right? It has an angular shape. Now see, this is an angular shape. This water molecule, I said in last week's class, there is a polarity. You might ask, so what is polarity, right? I taught in this last week. So just as a revise, I'll give some information about that also. I'll revise that also, right? If you see what is polarity means a charge distribution, right? Polarity means uneven charge distribution, uneven charge distribution, uneven charge distribution. Right now, definition wise, we can understand it's an uneven charge distribution. Okay, but how, sir? I can't understand it clearly. Now, this is the thing. Now, we have something like electronegativity. We know electronegativity, right? Now, electronegativity. Now, if this is the periodic table, it looks like this, right? Here it is hydrogen and it's here helium, right? It goes on. Now, normally, elements in this seventh period, sorry, seventh group. Normally it is said as 17th group. You'll be learning it in AL chemistry, but in all of us they said it as seventh group, right? So with your all knowledge, I'll go with that. So seventh group. If you see seventh group elements, seventh group contains fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. These are the elements in that group, right? So if you consider the seventh group elements are the elements that contains the highest electronegativity. You might ask, sir, what is electronegativity? You have learned this in your O levels, but still, it's my job to just revise those things, right? If you ask what is electronegativity is the ability to ability to attract electrons, ability to tend the electrons, right? It is a tendency to attract electrons. Now, if you see, it is simply the ability to attract electrons. Now, if you see there's an oxygen, there's an electron, the ability to attract it, like a magnet, attracting ability, that is called as electronegativity, right? So that ability is highestly noticed, or it is in maximum in these elements. What are the elements? Fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. Especially fluorine has the highest. It has a value of 4 electronegative value, right? You don't go detail on those values and what are those values, how those values got those things. You'll be learning this under your A level chemistry, right? I want the idea, right? Right. Okay. Now, if you see here, this polarity, right? Sorry, the electronegativity. Electronegativity can be seen in these elements at highest. So normally they are saying across the period. Now these are groups, right? Now say if this is considered, this is a group, right? Across in this manner, horizontally, these are considered to be periods, right? This period, along the period, right? Along the period, normally electronegativity increases. Can you understand that? Across the period, normally electronegativity increases. So highest electron can be seen in these elements. Lowest can be seen in these first group elements. Is it clear? Is it clear? Is it clear? Yes. Okay. If you find difficulties, just let me know. Right? I'll go a bit slowly. Right? Now, normally electronegativity. Right? Don't see those complex words. What is electronegativity? Those right? Just understand the idea. Electronegativity means ability to attract electrons. Now, if this is electron, this is an element, the ability to attract it. Right? That is called as an electronegativity. So normally across the period in a group, in a periodic table, across the period, the electronegativity increases, which means the ability to attract electrons increases, right? So see here, oxygen is located in the sixth group. Am I right? Hydrogen is present in the first group. So which has the highest electronegativity? Oxygen or hydrogen? Oxygen or hydrogen? Which has the highest electronegativity? Oxygen, exactly. Very good, very good. Right? That means we have got the point. Oxygen has the highest electronegativity. So we mention that highest electronegativity character by a symbol. You might have learned this delta minus in your levels. This is delta positive. Delta positive. Right? Due to that high electronegativity, now if you see oxygen, hydrogen, actually it look now this is the bond, right? Actually it will be looking like this one electron, one electron. It will be looking like this. So normally you have learned in your levels, electrons are depicted by dots, right? So actually it will be looking like this. Electron will be present here, electron will be present here. Now due to the higher electronegativity, these electrons will be attracted more towards. Now if you see, normally if you see as a cloud, now if this is a molecule, right? Due to this higher electronegativity, right? It will be looking like this. Electrons are more accumulated in this area. Is it clear? It won't be equally, unequally. Is it clear? Clear, right? Yes. Okay. Right. This is more in your chemistry, but just to understand this concept, right? So more electrons get attracted. This is called as polarity. It is a charge distribution. As more electrons are pulled this way, electrons are what charged? Negatively charged. So as more electrons are pulled towards this side, this oxygen molecule is normally negatively charged. So opposite of this is hydrogen, which means if it is negative, this is positive. That is the idea. So if you see negative, positive, there is a charge separation, right? That charge separation is not equally separated, it is unequally separated. That unequally separated charge is called as polarity. That is a simple idea. Is it clear? Is that clear? Clear, perfect. Mm. Right, right. And also they are saying that there are something called hydrogen bonds, it seems. Now if you see, this is a water molecule, this is another water molecule, right? As you know, this is negative, this is positive, this is positive. You know why why the reason is for these positive negative charges, right? Now they are saying if there are two water molecules like this, there can be attractions taking place like this between this. Now this is negative, this is positive, so there will be attracting. Opposite poles attract, opposite charges attract. So this will be attracting. These will be attracting, right? These bonds are called hydrogen bonds. Simply, the bonds that are present between, or the weak interaction, the weak attractions that are present between the slightly polar oxygen of a molecule and slightly polar hydrogen of another molecule, not the same molecule, another molecule. Is it clear? The weak interactions that are present between the slightly polar oxygen of a water molecule and the slightly polar hydrogen of another water molecule is called hydrogen bonds. Is that definition clear? Is the definition clear? Clear. Perfect. Right. And they are saying these bonds that are present. Now, hydrogen bonds are weak in liquid form, it seems. Weak in liquid form, which means water in liquid state. In liquid water, the hydrogen bonds are very weak, right? Whereas it is stronger, or it is very strong in solid form, which means ice ice cubes have stronger hydrogen bonds, it seems, right? Simple points, right? Let's see the note. Water is a vital inorganic molecule. Last week I said what is meant by inorganic molecule. Normally, simply understand like this: any molecule that contains carbon, hydrogen, oxygen are considered to be organic, right? Even if we neglect, normally if you see, some people misunderstand this with carbon. They think some have a misconception that any compound that contains carbon is considered to be organic. Some have that idea. If that is the case, carbon dioxide is inorganic. The main requirement is it should contain carbon or hydrogen, right? Most of the molecules contain oxygen also, but main requirement, it should contain carbon or hydrogen, right? So if you see water has H2O, which means it does not have a carbon. Minimum requirement, carbon or hydrogen should be present. So it is considered to be an inorganic molecule. It is important due to two reasons. What are they? Vital chemical constituent of living cell. I said that living cells have water. Within the living cell, all the functions are contributed with the help of water. Right? Provides a biological medium for all organisms. Now, if you see, most of the countries, there is, ships going on, right? Ships, they are taking some important trade items through ships from one country to another country, right? Now you can imagine that concept within a cell or within a body. Just think, blood plasma contains the liquid water, and it is the one that is helping in transporting materials. It is similar to a sea. How water in a sea helps in transporting materials, similarly water in the human body also helps as a biological medium transporting the materials, right? That is the idea, right? Most of the above properties are based on the chemical structure. This is the chemical structure. Chemical structure of water molecule. Physical and chemical properties of water molecule provide the ability to render the vitality. Due to these properties, water acts as an important molecule. Water molecule is a small polar angular molecule. Small, you can understand, right? Polar, I understand. I clearly gave an explanation for that. Polar means a charge distribution. Angular molecule. See here, I said that it's an angle. See here, this is an angular molecule, right? Polarity is an uneven charge distribution within a molecule. Why this charge distribution takes place? Due to the electronegativity, right? In water molecule, oxygen atom is slightly negatively charged. Now you can understand why it is slightly negatively charged. Why? Electrons are more attracted towards it, right? Hydrogen atom is slightly positive. Weak interaction between a slightly polar hydrogen atom of water molecule and slightly polar oxygen atom of another molecule are called as hydrogen bonds, right? The properties of water arise due to attraction of different water molecules. When water in its liquid form, hydrogen bonds are fragile. Fragile means very weak, whereas hydrogen bonds in the solid form are stronger. Hydrogen bonds forms break and reform. The hydrogen bonds can break and reform again, right? Okay. Up to this point, is it clear? Up to this point, is it clear? If you have any doubts, let me know. I'll give an explanation. Clear, right? If you want, you can on the mic and also let me know your doubts, right? Clear, right? So I'll move on. Okay. Now we have understood about the structure of water molecule, why it is important. Now we are going to understand what are the properties of water, right? There are mainly four properties of water. First one, cohesive behavior. First one. Second one, ability to moderate temperature. Third one, expansion upon freezing. Fourth one, versatility as a solvent, right? Cohesive behavior. Let's go with the note. Cohesive behavior, attraction between water molecules due to hydrogen bonding. Now, if you see, this is a water molecule, this is a water molecule. The interaction between the water molecules are called as cohesive behavior, right? Normally, between water molecules, what is the bond that is present? What is the type of bond? Just a few minutes ago, I introduced that. What is the type of bond that is present between water molecules? Can you remember? Hydrogen bonds, right? Hydrogen bonds are the ones that are present between water molecules, and due to these hydrogen bonds, water molecules are attracted. This attractive attraction that is taking place, attractive force are called as cohesive behavior, cohesion, right? The attraction is called as cohesion. If water molecules are attracted with other molecule except water, they are called as addition forces or addition, right? Simply that is the see this diagram. Attraction between the water molecules are called to be cohesion forces between water molecule and other molecule. Example, if you see stem, if you take a stem, these contain cellulose molecules also. So water will be moving with the help of this interaction. It will moving with the interaction like this. So this interaction is called as addition. Why? It is between a water molecule and another molecule. Here it is cellulose, right? This is called as addition. Both of the above properties of water acts as a transport medium, correct, right? These are the ones that helps in transporting some material. Now, we understood that water acts as a biological medium. Why? Because of these two properties. What are the properties? Cohesion, addition. Now, if you see, simply this is the idea. If this is a stem, water molecules will be moving like this, droplets like this. Now, just think like this. This is one molecule, this is another molecule. They'll be attracted and they'll be moving as a double. Sometimes it will be moving as a triplet, right? These are moving due to intermolecular. What bonds? Hydrogen bonds. Simply, they are said to be cohesion forces. Due to cohesion, they are attracted water molecules. At the same time, to move upwards. Now, normally we know from the O-level knowledge that gravity acts downwards. Am I right? Gravity acts downwards. Right? Am I right? Yes. So gravity acts downwards. So in order to move these water molecules upward, there should be a support that should be provided. That support is given by adhesion forces. Why? Here in the stem, these inner walls, they contain cells, and those plant cells contain cellulose. Right? Those cellulose will be helping to move this upwards. Right? Can you understand that? How what acts as a transport medium? How these cohesion adhesion forces helps in transporting water? Can you understand? Can you understand? Can. Okay, perfect. Right. Due to cohesion between water molecules, water and dissolved substances such as minerals and nutrients transport through vascular tissues, xylem and phloem against gravity. Now, this is the thing. Water molecules will contain the hydrogen molecule and it will be attracted. At the same time, there will be some nutritions, dissolved minerals too, right? Minerals also will be present. It will be moving as a solution, right? It will won't be going as a pure water molecule, right? Now we know if this is the plant, these are the roots, right? From the now this is the soil. From the soil, is it only water moving into the roots? No. Water sometimes or minerals also will be moving from the soil. Right? Now from here to here, now it should move to the leaves, fruits. There are various parts of the plant, right? So it should be transported upwards. Now an entire solution will be moved upwards. So the entire solution, now see, I'll give another color. Now if you see, this is the solution. Wait. If you see, this is the solution that moves upwards. Now, this solution, can you name what are the components that are present in this solution? What are they? Water is present and mineral is present. Am I right? Both of them are present, water and mineral. Why? From water came from the soil and minerals were also absorbed from the soil. Both of them will be moving as a solution, right? They'll be moving as a solution. That solution will be containing water and mineral, right? Water will be moved with the help of adhesion and cohesion, right? So these minerals also should need a support, right? They can't also move as a single person, right? Now minerals also can't move as an individual. They do need a support because they should move. They should like now. This is the thing. Now if you see, think like a mountains, like something, right? Now you are here, right? You are moving by keeping some ropes, and there is a person who helps you, right? Now I am here, right? Now you are the water molecule. You are moving with the help of the rope, right? Rope. Can you understand what is the rope? Rope means cohesion. Just think, right? There's another person here. Now we are moving with the help of, now there is a mountain right now. This is the flow. By exerting a force, you are moving upward. So this interaction between the flow is addition. You are moving upwards. Now me, which I am the mineral. So mineral, I should also move upwards, but I don't have a support. So what should I do? I should be friend with the water molecule. I should speak with him. Then I should go to him and say, right, I too need a support. I should also go upwards. So can I join you? And I should just make an interaction. Am I right? Am I right? Because you are the only way where I can move upwards. Right? Is it clear? Yes. So similarly, here also, if you see, water moves with the help of cohesion addition, but minerals, they too should move against the gravity. This gravity, we know that it is an gravity means, now if you see, F equals ma, this equation, right? Now if you see, acceleration. Now here, what is the acceleration? Gravitational acceleration. So there is a gravitational force that is acting downwards, right? So in by exerting or by now we should move against that gravitational acceleration. So what should I need? Need and support. So from where can I get that support? I can get it by cohesion addition. So I'll be moving with the water. Now try to understand this point. Due to cohesion between water molecules, water and dissolved substances such as minerals and nutrition transport through vascular tissues. Vascular tissues are the tissues that involves in transporting materials, right? Vascular tissues like xylem and fluids against gravity. Is it clear? Just try to understand that point. The fourth point. Is it clear now? Clear, right? Okay. Adhesion between water molecules and cell walls helps in conduction of water and dissolved substances. Same idea. Now, if you see cohesion helps to attract and move, right? Addition helps to pull it, right? Addition is the one that helps the water to move along with it, right? So it is helps in conduction. Conduction means similar to transportation of water and dissolved substances. These 2 points I have explained it from a single diagram. This is the diagram, right? Just connect it with this idea, right? This one. Now this is a new idea, right? Water has high surface tension. This ability is given to water molecules due to cohesion between water molecules. Now this is the thing. Now last week I drew a diagram and I explained it, but still I'll explain it today also. Right, now this is the water. Now each of them, you should understand, each of them are considered to be a water molecule, right? Now I said few minutes ago that water looks like this, right? Now, if there is an adjacent water molecule like this, won't it attract? Won't it attract? There would be attractions, right? What type of attraction? What type of attractions will present? Now, here see, this is one water molecule, this is one, this is another water molecule. Now, I have drawn like an enlarged diagram. Now, between these two water molecules, there would be interaction, right? There would be attraction. What is that attraction called? They have given a word for that. What is that attraction called? They have given a word. What is that? Can you remember? Cohesion, right? What is it? Cohesion. Now, see here. Yeah, see here. Because why? Water, water. What is the force? Cohesion. So here see the definition also. It is the attraction between water molecules due to hydrogen bonding. So what is the force or what is the attraction that is present here? Cohesion. Clear? I hope it's clear. Right? Wait, wait, wait. Right. Okay. Wait, wait. Right. Okay. Right. Now I said that the interaction between these two are called cohesion. Right. Right. How the interaction takes place between the oxygen and the hydrogen. Between this oxygen and this hydrogen. Like that. right? So, okay. Now we know that there would be interactions or attractions. Now, if you see, how will the attraction look like? Looking like something like this. Now, this, if we consider this water molecule, now see, I'll take this one, right? Now it will be attracted from upward. It will be attracted from this side. It will be attracted from this side. It will be attracted from this side. It will be attracted from this side, this side, this side, and this side. Am I right or no? Am I right? Are you clear with that? Why it is attracting? Yes. Right? Okay. Now similar it will be looking like for this and this. Now take this top layer one. Now I'll take this molecule. Right? If you see, will there be an attracting force upwards? Will there be an attraction upwards? Yes or no? No. Why? Because no water molecule. So will there be a sidewards? Yes, there will be sideward reaction like this. Right? Now see here the yellow color molecule. Here I have colored one. This is the yellow color molecule which I choose as an example for the first one, and this is the green. Sorry, this is the green color one. Right? Now I'll take the yellow color one. Right? Now yellow color molecule, it looks like this: upward, sideward, side. Right. Now we know from our O level physics knowledge, right? We know that. Now see here, there is a vehicle. There's 5 Newton in this direction, 5 Newton in this direction. What is the resultant force here? What is the resultant force? 0 Newton. Exactly. Why? Because opposite direction cancels off. So with that knowledge, try to understand here. This upward arrow and this downward arrow, will it cancel off? Yes. This sideward and this sideward, will it cancel off? Yes. This one and this one, it will cancel off. This one and this one cancel off. So eventually, there won't be any attraction at the end. Are you clear with that point? Because all of them will be cancelling off. Clear? Yes. Right? Okay. Now I'm taking the green molecule. Right? Now, this is the green molecule. Now, if you take a green molecule, there is no upward force. So it will be looking like this. Now, if you see here, this one and this one will cancel off, but these three won't cancel off. These three will be forming an downward attraction. Am I clear? So it will be eventually looking like this. This green molecule. Wait. This green molecule will be present like this, and the attraction will be eventually in the downward direction. So these top molecules will be pulled by the bottom molecules. Clear? Is that clear? You should patiently understand each and every point. Right? No hurry. We'll complete this complete lesson. Right? We'll do it patiently because this is the foundation of your biology. Right? So you should understand each and every point carefully without any hurry. Right? We have time, plenty of time you have. Right? Is that clear? Clear on? If you didn't understand that, just let me know. Clear, right? Okay. So we can understand that these bottom layer molecules, there is no attraction, but these top layer molecules have a pull downwards. Now just think, if the pull exerts, if the pull exerts downwards, the water will be looking like this. Can you understand? Now I have drawn this with respect to one molecule. Actually, it will be looking like this. It won't be having a flat surface like this or curvy shape. It will looking like this. Why all of them have been pulled downwards, right? Can you understand the point? Now, if you see here, we understood that the top layer molecules have a force downwards, each and every molecule. So if they are having a downward force, all of them will be pulled downwards and it will be getting a curve shape like this. Can you understand? Yes or no? Yes. Right? But actually, if you see, if you pour the water into a bucket, a rectangle shaped bucket or something, does water look like a curve? Does it look like a pit or something? No, right? It has a curvy shape, like a wavy shape, and it is similar to a somewhat flat surface like thing. Why? If you ask why, there is something called surface tension. What is that? Wait. Right. Right. Now, if you see, the first layer molecule, I'm speaking about the first layer molecules, they have a force downward, right? In order to prevent the downward force, what happens is these will be forming a stronger bond between these water molecules, right? And it will be creating a very, very strong force attracting them. If you see, now they are creating a very, very strong bond compared to this down, the below bond, the top, right? Now create the, now see, if you see, they'll be creating a very, very strong bond here, so that the force that is created downwards can't match this bond. So even though there is a force downwards, these are very, very strongly attracted. So what happens? They'll be forming a layer upwards. The first top layer will be formed as a complete chain-like surface. Can you understand? Can you understand what I'm trying to convey? Yes, sure. If you can't understand, let me know. I'll give another example. Sure, clear? Clear, right? Okay. Now, right, perfect. So, due to these forces, what are these forces? Cohesion. Now, why? Because it is between two water molecules. Am I right? It is between two water molecules, so this is cohesion. So due to this cohesion forces, water will be attracted between among themselves, and they'll be forming a very, very strong surface. So even though I pull, now just think this is the first layer molecule, so the surface layer, right? Even though I am exerting a force downward, they are very, very strong, and they are forming a layer upwards, right? So this surface layer, the upper top surface layer, will be looking like a sheet of paper. It won't be pulling downwards. This is the reason why water does not have a shape like this, something like pit, due to the force. They are forming a curved surface, and because the top layer has cohesion. Now try to understand the point here. What they have given. Water has a high surface tension. This is called as surface tension. What is called as surface tension? This, the upper surface molecule forming a film, the upper surface molecules of water forming a film, preventing the attraction created downward. This is called as surface tension, right? Water has high surface tension. This ability is given to water molecules due to cohesion between water molecules. Therefore, in aquatic system, upper surface water molecules are attracted by lower surface molecules, and it forms a water film. Water film. Small insects like water skaters can walk on surface of pond. Have you seen some insects? Those insects can walk on water. Now, if this is water, those insects will be keeping their feet and they'll be walking like this. That is because of this surface tension. Because they have very, very less force, very, very less force. So as they have very, very less force, now if you see, this is the water molecule. This is a very, very strong bond between the other water molecule in the top layer. Normally, there is a very, very small bond that is taking place downward. See here. This is what I'm saying. Yeah, the green molecule. Here, this force, right? Now, the insect's weight is also very, very small. So that force is also very negligible. Now, these water skaters, as a result of that, they can walk on water. Why? That film is maintained. It is looking like a sheet, no, it's like a cardboard on water. It is like a cardboard and water. So skaters can walk. Now, what is the why now if water has surface tension, why humans can't walk on water? Why? Just think and give me an idea. Just give me a reason why with your physics knowledge. Why? The water skaters can walk on water because the water film is maintained. Why then humans can't walk on water? We are sinking on the water. Why? If you ask why, this is the reason. Now there's a why water maintains as a film means this bond or this attractive force that is acting downwards compared to this force or this attraction is stronger. Am I right? Am I right? The water acts as a film because the force acting downwards, this force compared to this force, this attraction between water molecule, the cohesion force, that is stronger than this. So it is acting as a water film, right? But when a human stands on water, when he keeps his feet, a large amount of force. Let's use physics knowledge. F equals ma. Now think. Now we are 80 kilos, right? 80 kilos. Acceleration downward is gravitation acceleration, right? So 10 newton, 10 ms minus 2. So it will be 800 newton. A large amount of weight, a large force. Can you see? So 800 newton acting on this means this bond will be breaking. It will break. Can you understand? Due to this force, this will be starting to break. So the downward force is very, very large. So water molecules will be going downwards. It will be creating a pit like something. So we'll be going downwards. Can you understand? Can you understand? Yes. Right? That is the idea. Simple. Right. So just go through this part and let me know if there are any doubts. If no doubts, I'll go to the next part. Is it clear? Can you understand all what they have mentioned here? If it's clear, let's move on. Yes. Okay. So the next property, ability to moderate temperature, right? Before going on to that, without going wasting time on explaining each and every topic, I'll give a small diagram. By understanding that, you can understand the complete, information, right? If you see water has two main function. First one, it has a high specific heat, and second one, it has a high heat of vaporization, right? Due to this high specific heat, what happens is water can act as a thermal buffer. What is the word? It acts as a thermal buffer. Buffer means, simply understand, it is a regulator. Buffer means regulator. So thermal buffer means thermal regulator. Thermal means temperature. So temperature regulator. So normally on earth there can be fluctuations of temperature. Can you understand? Fluctuation means there can be changes in temperature. With time, if there is a temperature change that is taking place, water in our body acts as a thermal buffer. Now see, now our body, normally we have a range of 35 to 40 degrees Celsius. This is our normal range. Now suddenly the temperature, environmental temperature increases to 50 degrees Celsius. So what happens? Our body also starts to increase the temperature. So this water, what will take place is water will be decreasing the temperature. How? By secreting sweat. Can understand? Normally, in sports meets, the temperature that is present in the ground is very, very large. So when the temperature is very, very large, what happens? We start sweating. Why? Now we think it is because due to the temperature we are start normally getting sweating. But now you have knowledge what it happens. How? Due to the temperature, water needs to maintain the temperature. Water has to maintain the temperature. How? It will be secreting the sweat. Now sweat also contains water. Now what happens is that sweat will be regulating the temperature. Why? It is maintained. Now if you see, sweat is normally cooler, right? Sweat is normally cooler than the body temperature. So now if you see, due to that, when something cooler touches on a hot surface, it decreases the temperature, right? So this 50 degree will be eventually decreasing to 40 or 35. What happens if it decreases? Suddenly the temperature decreases to 20 something degrees. When 20 degrees temperature, what happens? Water in the body starts to increase the temperature within the body. It will be starting to increase the temperature, right? How? Without secreting any sweat. When the body stops secreting the sweat, what happens? Inside the body, human body temperature starts to increase. Is it clear? Am I going fast? Is it hard to understand something? No, right? Is it clear what I'm trying to convey? Clear, right? Now, if you have any doubts, no, don't fear something. Just let me know what you have the doubt, right? Because if you have any doubt, it's not your mistake, it's my mistake because I have failed to explain it to you, right? Clearly. So, if you have any doubts, point me out, right? Right. Now, this is how water acts as a thermal buffer. Buffer means regulator. Regulator means thermal regulator. Regulating means, now it is, you can understand the word regulator, right? Regulator means it involves in maintaining. Regulator, the word means maintaining, right? Right. This is one property. High specific heat. Due to high heat of vaporization, what happens is with minimum now clearly understand the point. Now I'll first mention the point. You listen to it and then understand it. Due to high heat of vaporization, with the minimum loss of water, high amount of energy is lost. Let's see what it means. With minimum loss of water, high energy is lost. Now this is connected with the sweat scenario. What happens now when the temperature increases? When the temperature increases, thermal energy within the body increases. So what should we do? We should release that energy to maintain the temperature. So what happens? Water in the form of sweat is secreted. Now sweat, if you see, if you take the whole body sweat that is secreted and measure it, will it be in liters? Will it be in liter, 1 liter, 2 liter, something? Can you understand the question what I'm asking? During sweating, if you collect those all sweat, it's not practical, but I'm just saying for you to understand that if we collect all the sweat and measure it, will it be in liters? No. Right? Why? It will be a small amount. It will be in something like milliliters, right? 10, 50, not even that, very very small amount, right? So can you understand, with minimum loss of water but high amount of energy is lost, it will be decreasing the temperature from 50 to 35, 40. So high amount of energy is lost. Can you understand? Minimum loss of water, high amount of energy is lost. Is it clear? This idea? Yes or no? Yes, clear. Very good, very good. Right. So this happens in human body during sweating. In plants, it takes place during a process called transpiration. So in transpiration, what happens is it will be cooling down the plant body in this manner. Now simply just understand, in humans, sweat, right? In humans, to cool down the body, sweating take place. Evaporation of the sweat cools down. So similarly in plants, it cools down by a process called transpiration. That's it. Right? Now let's go to the note part. Water can absorb or release high amount of energy by slightly changing its own temperature. Correct, right? Now if you see the water that is secreted outwards, which is sweat, it has a small change in temperature, right? It slightly changes its temperature. Now if you see, now this is our hand, right? Now here the temperature is sitting 50 degrees Celsius, right? Normally in our human body, the temperature was just still 35 degrees Celsius, right? So the human body is the water that was present in the human body also will be maintained in that temperature, 35 degrees Celsius. But compared to that water, the sweat that is secreted will be a bit cooler. It will be something like 30 or 32 something, right? It is cooler. So it has slightly changed the temperature from 35 to 32 or 30. But it drastically changes the human body temperature from 50 to 35. See, by slightly changing, by water can absorb or release high amount of energy by slightly changing its own temperature. Is the first point clear? Yes. If that is clear, you can understand all of them. Due to high specific heat, water will act as a thermal buffer in living system aquatic body due to temperature fluctuation. You see, that is what I explained here. Thermal buffer, right? Due to high heat of vaporization, with the minimum loss of water, water can release high amount of energy. Here, see here, this is the thing. So the body surface of an organism maintains a cool state prevents from overheating. Sweating prevents from overheating. Evaporation of sweat from the human skin helps to maintain the body temperature at constant level. Transpiration in plants keeps the plant body surface cool and prevents from becoming too warm. Now just check this, the second property, and let me know if it is clear. If it's clear, let's move on. And if you have any doubts, let me know. Clear, right? Then let's move on, right? Now these two are very, very, very easy, right? Compare those two. Expansion upon freezing. Generally, an increase in temperature of any substance reduces the density. Now, this is the thing, right? Normally, there's a relationship like this. Temperature is directly proportional to volume. If you increase the temperature of something, its volume increases, the volume expands, right? Is it clear? If the temperature increases, volume also expands. Now, this will be you learning in your annual chemistry, in your A-levels, right? So now this is a relationship. If you understand this concept, you can understand the complete this property expansion upon freezing. Increase in the temperature increases the volume. Why? It is directly proportional. Can you understand this point? Right. Now you know like equation something like this, like density equals m over v. Have you heard about this equation? Density equals mass over volume. So here if you see, density is directly or inversely proportional to volume. Inversely. So increase in volume decreases density. Right? So we can say that temperature is inversely proportional to density. Can you understand this? This has some sort of physics in it. Can you try to understand this? Can you understand this? Temperature is directly proportional to volume. Volume is indirectly proportional to density. So volume temperature is indirectly proportional to density. Right? You can understand that, right? Good. Right? Now if you understand this, now this is the thing. Normally I'll take last week also I took three water molecules. Right? Now this has a volume V1, this has a volume V2, this has a volume V3. Now this is 10 degrees, this is 5 degrees, this is 4 degrees. Right? Now 10 degree, right? Which one has the highest volume? V1, V2, V. Now just think which one has the highest temperature? This is a T1, T2, T3, T1. Now I want a relationship. Now what you do is from the highest to the lowest, give it as that sequence. From give it in a descending sequence, descending order, highest to the lowest. Now you said T1 is the highest. Okay, T1 highest. Then T2, exactly, very good. T2 and T3. Now, volume, give it as the temperature sequence. Volume also mentioned it in a descending sequence. Give me the descending sequence of volume. For the volume, you use the volume terms V1, V2, V3. Instead of using T1, T1 is for temperature. So, volume you can use V1, V2, V3. Very good. V1, V2, V3. V1, V2, V3. Now the density sequence. Density, I'll give the term D1. D1, D2, D3. Give me the density sequence, the descending sequence. Check well. I want the descending. Highest density, lowest density. Now, with the knowledge of this, directly proportional, indirectly proportional, let me know. If volume increases, density decreases. They are opposite. So how would the sequence look like? Descending sequence. Highest density can be noticed for which one? D1, D2 or D3? Highest density. D3, exactly. Why? Because lowest volume is seen in V3. So it will look like this. Check whether you agree with this point. Huh? Do you agree with this? Density look like this. Highest density for D3 and then D2 and then D1. Do you agree with this? Yes. Now, highest density. Now, this is for water. Water in liquid form. Now, highest density is seen for which temperature? Highest density is seen for which temperature? In these three temperatures, for which temperature is highest density noticed? 10 degrees, 5 degrees, or 4 degrees? Highest density. Highest density. Highest density is seen for D3, D2, or D1? Highest density. Highest density is for D3. So, what is the temperature of D3? 4. That is the answer. What was my question? What is the temperature at which the highest density is noticed? Can you understand? Is it clear? Is it confusing? Yes, clear, right? Okay. So I'll mention it here. See, maximum density is noticed at 4 degrees Celsius for liquid water. Right? Okay. Now let's go to this point. Generally, an increase in temperature of any substance reduces the density, and on the other hand, decrease. This complete statement you can understand by this relationship. Temperature is irreversibly proportional to density. Right? See, check this first point. Clear, right? Not much difficulty in understanding that one. Right? So if we go to second point, when the temperature of water falls below 4 degree, ah, falls below 4 degree, it begins to freeze, and forms a crystalline lattice called ice cube. Now what? Now we have taken until 4 degree, right? Now if we go further in temperature, decrease the temperature, just say T4 is 3 degree, this liquid water will be forming into a crystalline lattice, it seems. What is this crystalline lattice called? What is this crystalline lattice called? Ice cube. Can you understand? Can you understand? Yes. Okay. Therefore, water has the maximum density at 4 degree. Hence, ice floats on surface of water. Now, can you see? 4 degree is the final point. This is the final point. After 4 degree, now all the things above 4 degree is in water form. Below 4 degrees is ice form. Can you understand this? Yes, right? Yes. Right. Now, if you see liquid water has a higher density or ice water. So ice cube. Now see, liquid will looking like this, right? Or ice cube, the volume. So the volume means the space it occupies. Right now, if you see liquid droplet, it will be looking like this, right? Water, ice cube, it looks like this. What has the highest volume? Ice or liquid water? Ice. So V for volume of ice is compared to liquid water greater. So if volume of ice, sorry, now V ice means volume of ice is greater than V water means density of ice, is it greater than water or less than water? Density of ice, is it greater than water or less than water? Greater. No, no. Density of ice. Now, volume and density. See here. Density equals mass over volume. Right? So, density is inversely proportional to volume. So, increase in density decreases volume. Increase in volume decreases density. They are inversely proportional. So, increase or when volume of ice is greater, density of the ice is greater than water or less than water? Lesser than water. So you have a knowledge in hydrostatics, right? I don't know whether you have studied hydrostatics in your honors. I think you have studied uh, that float hydrometer thing, right? To measure the density. So here, lower density. Now this is water, liquid water, right? Lower density components that are having a lower density compared to water, will they float on water or will they sink on water? This is my question. Component or substances that have a lesser density compared to water, will they float on water, will or sink on water? Now oil, take oil's density. Now have you seen, have you poured oil into water? If this is the water, this is oil, right? Oil will float. Ah, exactly, oil will float. Why oil floats? Oil has a less density. So similarly here, will ice float or sink? If we pour ice here, will the ice float or sink? Will it float or sink? Float, exactly. Why? Its density is lower than water. Now, can you understand why if you drop a ice cube into water, it floats? See here. Therefore, water is aspect. Hence, ice floats on water surface bodies. Can you understand that point? Yes. It is an important property in polar regions and aquatic bodies. Why it is important in aquatic bodies means, if you see areas like winter areas or aquatic areas where polar bears lives, if you see, it will be looking like this. The ice will be located like this, right, like this, and between below this only water will be present, right? Water will be present in this manner, right? Now the polar bears will be walking on this, right? They'll be walking on this. Now they walk on these because ice floats on water. Why ice floats on water? Because density of ice is less than the density of water. We should know that science, right? We can say just ice floats on water, so polar bears and other aquatic organisms can survive. No. Why? Because its density is lower than water's. Is it clear? Now just go through this third property and let me know if you have any doubts. No doubts means let's continue. Clear, right? Okay, then. Let's move on. Versatility as a solvent. Versatility means importance or its contribution. Just remember it as importance, right? Importance of water as a solvent. Solvent means, now this is the thing. Now just think we are preparing an orange juice, right? Now I hope you have the experience of preparing a juice something, right? Now just think this is a jar. Now there would be an orange drink powder, right? Now I'll be pouring that powder, right? And pour some water on it, right? Now I'm pouring, just assume 1 liter of water, right? And I'll be adding some sugar, some salt or lime, right? I'll be adding. Now just let me know the volume or the measurement of water is great or the powder is great. Now there are components. See what we added? We added water, we added salt or lime, we added sugar, and we added the drink powder, right? Can you just assume and say, is water, the volume of water we added the greatest or others? Now which means, now this is the question. මේකෙන් වැඩියෙන් දාපු එක කෝකද? වතුරද, sugarද, drink powderද, limeද? මේ හතරෙන් වැඩියෙන් දාපු එක කෝකද? drink එක හදන්න මේ හතරින් වැඩියෙන් දාපු එක කොහොමද? That is the question. Water, right? So here water is considered to be a solvent. Can you understand? Can you understand? So there are some drink powders. If you see, some drink powders have added sugar in them. Some drink powders have added some amount of salt in them, right? There are some. So if these three are considered to be a single powder, now there are some powders, right? Now, there are some drink powders which contains sugar in them. It contains some taste of salt in them, right? So instead of mentioning these three, I'll mention it as single powder. Is it okay? Is it confusing? No. Right? Wait. How delays it? Right. Wait. Right. I'll erase these through these three and I'll mention it as single drink powder. So be clear that this drink powder contains salt, sugar, and drink powder, the orange powder. Now, if water is the solvent, this is considered to be solute. Can you understand the differences between those two? Solute and solvent. Yes, clear, right? Not much hard. Now let's go to this versatility and solvent. This ability is given to the polarity. It is given due to the polarity. Now water acts as a solvent. Normally, when we are making any solutions, we'll be adding water as a solvent, which means we'll be adding them in large amounts, right? So water, why we are adding as a solvent? Because we want to dissolve something. Can you understand that? Now normally, if you see here, why we added water in large amount? Because we want to dissolve the drink powder, right? Clear? That is why we're adding water in large amount, right? We want to dissolve the drink powder, right? Is it clear? Is it clear? Now here water, is clear, right? So water acts as a solvent. Now listen to this statement clearly. Water acts as a solvent, right? Due to its polarity, it seems, which means now water we are adding in excess in large amount to dissolve something, right? Now if you see water, this is water, right? Now we are adding, just think salt, something called salt. Now salt, normally salt has a chemical formula of NaCl, right? So when we add NaCl, it will be looking like this, right? Sodium will be getting a positive charge, chlorine will be getting a negative charge, oxygen will be getting a negative charge, hydrogen will be getting a positive charge and positive charge, right? This is how it looks like. When we add this, now here solubility means simply the ability to dissolve, right? Without precipitating, without remaining as a suspension, the ability to dissolve to make a homogeneous mixture, right? Clear mixture, they should dissolve completely, right? So the ability to dissolve completely is called solubility. Is it hard to difficult? Is it do you find any difficulties in understanding these words? No, right? The ability to dissolve is called simply the dissolubility. No, right? Clear. So this solubility depends on the polarity itself. Polarity means charge distribution. Now if you see, this will be forming interaction with this and this will be forming interaction with this. Right? Correct, right? Now this polarity may charge separation එක තියෙන නිසා තමයි මේ atoms මෙතන react වෙන්නේ. Charge separation කියොත් මොකද්ද? Electronegativity. Right? ඒ charge distribution or charge separation එකක් තියෙන නිසා තමයි මේ negatively charged oxygen එක sodium එක්ක react වෙන්න හදන්නේ. Right? Is it clear? So that is why they are trying to convey here. This ability is given due to the polarity. Polar molecules, example glucose, non-polar molecules like sodium chloride, non-polar ionic molecules like sodium chloride, and polar ionic like lysozymes can dissolve in water. Right? These three are the molecules which can dissolve in water because water molecules surround each of the solute molecules and forms hydrogen bonds. See here, see here. This is a water molecule. Now see here. This is a water molecule. Wait, I'll change the color. Right now, this is a water molecule. This is the sodium atom, and this will be forming an interaction. What is this interaction? Hydrogen bonds. They are saying it is forming hydrogen bonds, it seems. Right? And it will be forming interactions. So this is the reason why water acts as a solvent, why it can easily go and react. So they are using a word called solubility. Just remember, solubility means ability to dissolve. So solubility depends on polarity, not on ionic nature. You should be clear with that. So you might ask, sir, I understood with polarity, but what is ionic nature? Ionic nature means compound separating as ions. Now, if you see sodium chloride, they will be remaining as compound. Now, this is a compound. Whenever it is dissolved, whenever it is added into a water jar or something, liquid, what happens is they won't be now. They will be looking like friends in the external environment, but whenever they go to a class, they separate into each student. That is ඒ වගේ තමයි. හරිද? Now එළියේ ඉන්නකොට මෙයාලා just sodium chloride ඉන්නවා. හරිද? water වලට add කරාම එයාලා ions විදියට වෙනස් වෙනවා. Right? They'll be looking like sodium cation and chlorine anion. This is called ionic nature. Can you understand? Actually, they are looking as compounds, sodium chloride, Lulu. But whenever they added to water or whenever they react with a solvent, what happens? They'll be separating into ions. So those ions will be reacting with the solvent. If water is present, they'll be reacting with the solvent like this. This is called as ionic nature. Can you understand this? Can you understand this? Is it hard to understand this? Understood. Sure, right? You understood both solubility, ionic nature, right? Both of them. Ionic nature means ability to separate into ions. Solubility means ability to dissolve, right? So those two understood, right? Right. If it is clear, then done. Now, solubility depends on polarity, it seems, not on the ionic nature. Right? Now, this solubility depends on the polarity of the solvent, not on the ionic nature of the solute. Right? Here, right. This is the thing. Now, this is the let's see here. Now, if this is water, this is salt, this is added. May salt वल solubility or solubility means the ability to dissolve, right? दिए हुए ना गाती है, right? That is dependent on the polarity of water. It seems polarity of water means charge separation of water, not on the ionic nature of the salt. It seems. Can you understand? See here. See this point and try to understand. Solubility depends on the polarity, not on the ionic nature. So this is a very key point. Most of them, confuse this with the ionic nature and polarity. Some think that solubility depends on both polarity and ionic nature. No, it depends only on polarity, right? So just go through this fourth property and let me know if there are any doubts. If no doubts, let's continue. Clear? Ah, this brings us to the end of water. So completely water is done, right? Now we are moving on to organic molecules. Now we were speaking about inorganic molecule. Water is an inorganic molecule, right? So now we are going to speak about organic molecule. Right, first organic molecule is carbohydrate. So this is simple, right? Nothing to uh, confuse. There's nothing hard here to understand. They are giving it basically just you know clear statements, right? Just read and understand only, right? If you can't understand, let's see. I'll just give an explanation. Carbohydrates, most abundant means most common group of organic compound on earth is carbohydrates. Major elemental composition is carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. So carbohydrates are made up of these three element systems: carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. Hydrates of carbon contain the same proportion of H is to O ratio. So normally carbohydrates have a ratio, right? This is the ratio. Hydrogen to oxygen ratio will be always 2 is to 1, it seems, right? Which is equal to 2 to 1 as in water, right? As in water means, now in water, see, water, what is the ratio of H is to O? How now if this is the water, how many hydrogens are present? Two. How many oxygens are present? One. So similar to water, here it will be 2 is to 1, it seems. Right? Right. General formula of carbohydrate is CxH2OY. Now X and Y, you might ask, what is this X and Y? X and Y are variable values. They can have certain values, right? They haven't given those values in our syllabus, right? They have a general formula. This is a general formula. You just understand the formula. This is the formula for carbohydrates. There are three main types of carbohydrates. What are they? Monosaccharides, disaccharides, polysaccharides. Generally, carbohydrates include sugars, monosaccharides and disaccharides. Now, this is the important statement. See here, includes sugars, and they have mentioned two, and they have separately mentioned polysaccharides, which means monosaccharides and disaccharides are sugars. Polysaccharide is not a sugar, right? Polysaccharide is not a sugar. So just go through this point, these 5 points, and let me know if you have any doubts. Do you have any doubts? Can you understand these 5 points? Clear, right? Very good. Now let's go on to the first subtopic, which is monosaccharide. Now we are going to study about monosaccharides, which is the first type of carbohydrate. Monosaccharide, the simplest form of carbohydrate, and have a general formula of CH2ON, where N varies from 3 to 7, which means now if you see carbohydrates, the simplest form, the sugar, simplest form is monosaccharide, right? So they have a generalized formula of CH2ON. What is the general formula of carbohydrate? CX. Now you should not confuse carbohydrates. General formula CXH2OY. Monosaccharides CH2ON. Right? End. Right? These two are the symbol. These two are the relationships. Right? This n value can vary from 3 to 7. The n can be 3, they can 4, it can be 5, it can be 6 or 7. Right? All monosaccharide are these three are characteristic features. All monosaccharides are reduced in sugars, water soluble, crystalline form. Now you can understand water soluble, right? Water soluble, it is dissolving in water completely. It dissolves in water completely. Crystalline means normally just think about sugar. Sugars have a crystal shape, right? I'll explain what is reduced in sugar. You can understand those 2 points, right? Water soluble and crystalline form. Can you understand those two? Clear, right? Reducing sugar means this is the thing. Reduced sugar means it is a sugar. Wait. It is a sugar that can reduce Benedict solution and give a brick red precipitate. Which means now think I am taking a sugar. This is a sugar. Now I want to check whether this sugar is a reducing sugar or not. So what I do, I'll take this and I'll pour this into a Benedict solution. Now this is a solution, Benedict solution. Just think this is a chemical, right? This is a chemical, Benedict solution, right? I am adding this sugar. If this sugar is a reducing sugar, as soon as I add this into Benedict solution, it will form a brick red precipitate, which means it will look like this. There would be a brick color, brick red color precipitate. So if there is a brick red precipitate that is formed, we can say that this sugar is a reducing sugar. So all monosaccharides give this test. They will be passing this test and they'll be giving a brick red color precipitate. Can you understand what is a reduced sugar? Just check whether you can understand this. Can you understand what is a reduced sugar here? Yes, no doubts, right? The most of the students find difficulties in understanding this. You don't have any doubt, right? Even if it's a single word, let me know. Clear, right? Okay, perfect. Okay, then you can understand these three properties. These three are the properties that are present in a monosaccharide. According to the number of carbon atoms, they are named as triose, tetrose, pentose, hexose. Right? These are the four types of monosaccharide. Now these are given like this. Now this is the if the n here CH2 n, if the n value is 3, they are called trioses. If the n value is 4, they are called tetroses. If n value is 5, they are called pentoses. If the n value is 6, they are called hexoses. You understand? All sugars that have CH2O3, they are called trioses, tetroses, pentoses. This is the thing, right? And they have given examples for trioses, glyceraldehyde, right? Glyceraldehyde. Now you might sit for your exams, right? Normally, first term exams will be sometimes asking these examples, right? For the first term, glyceraldehyde, you might find difficulties in memorizing what is this glyceraldehyde, those things. Now you might learn about this glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate. There's a compound called G3P. You might learn this under photosynthesis, right? This photosynthesis also comes under unit 2. Don't worry, we'll be learning this after, in a few classes we'll learn about this, right? Glyceraldehyde. Tetros, erythros. Example is erythros. Now this we are not coming across erythros anywhere in our syllabus. You have to memorize or just remember. Nothing to memorize. These are few words. You have to just with practice keep in your memory. Right? Right. Example for tetros is erythros. Erythros is a type of sugar. Right? Pentose. Pentose means ribose, deoxyribose, ribulose. Ribulose also will be learning under photosynthesis, right? Which comes in unit 2. Ribose and deoxyribose. These are the sugars that are present in something called this. Do you know this? What is this? DNA and RNA. Is this the first time you are coming across these two words? DNA and RNA? No. You know about DNA and RNA, right? Right. So DNA. Now, We'll be learning this under Unit 2, nucleic acids. I'll give a small, you know, small introduction to that, right? So, right. So DNA means D means deoxyribo. N means nucleic. A means acid, right? RNA means ribonucleic acid, right? So ribo. See these two words, and again see these two words, ribose, deoxyribose. Can you understand something? Can you understand something here? Do you find any similarities or something? It is not mentioned as deoxyribose here, but still there is ribo, right? Now, what actually means here is this DNA RNA contains these sugars. Now, if you see DNA contains deoxyribose sugar. RNA contains ribose sugar. That is the idea. Is that clear? If you want, you can, if you have the tute in your hand, I don't, I thought of giving it in as a printed copy at the physical class. uh, Unfortunately today due to this fuel crisis couldn't conduct it physically. So I don't know whether you have the hard copy, the printed copy of the tute. Do you have the printed copy, or you are looking at the PDF? No, right. So what you do is, uh, if you have a rough book or something, just you know, mm, write down this point. Now, deoxyribose means this is a sugar that is present in DNA. Ribose means it is a sugar that is present in RNA. Right? Just mention it. Or you can do like this also. Now, I'll be uploading this session, online session in YouTube. So after you get the printed copy in your hand, you can mention it also. So either way, right? Okay. So hexoses means if the N value CH2ON, that N value is 6. Right. Here we are coming across three sugars: glucose, fructose, and galactose. Is this the first time you're coming across these words? Glucose, fructose, and galactose? No, you have learned this under your O levels, right? Now here we will be further learning a small, we'll be going in deeper, right? Now this is the thing. We are going now. If you see here, we are not going deeper about trioses, tetroses, pentoses. We are going bit deep on hexoses only, right? So this is an important one, right? So here, what is the thing is now hexoses. Hexoses means CH2ON, right? Here the N value. So N value is 3. If the sorry N value is 6. If the N value is 6, CH2ON, that N value 6 means those sugars are called hexoses. Right? These hexoses can be divided into two. What are they? One, aldose sugar. Other one is ketose sugar. For aldose sugar, examples, they have given two examples: glucose, galactose. Ketose sugar, one example which is fructose. Fructose. You might ask, sir, what is this aldose and ketose? Now we have learned about hexose. We can understand hexose, how the word hexose comes. Hexose means a monosaccharide that contains 6 carbon atoms. Right? Correct, right? How you might ask, sir, what how 6 carbon atoms? You said N is 6. How 6 carbon atoms? Correct, right? Now if you see here, CH2O N, right? So if N is 6, it will have a now it have a chemical formula like this, right? C6 H12O6. O6. Correct, right? Am I right? Am I right or no? Yes. So hexose means a sugar that contains six carbon atoms. You might ask, so what is this aldose and ketose? We haven't heard about these, right? Now, this is the thing. Now, these are organic molecules, right? Aldose sugar means the word ald represents aldehyde, right? You might learn these words in your A-level chemistry, don't worry, right? But they have given this in your bio syllabus too, bit. They haven't given it deep. I'll explain it bit for to understanding purpose only, right? Ald means aldehyde. Keto means ketose. Ketone, sorry, ketone. Right? But as what is it now? We can't understand aldose. You are giving another term aldehyde. What is this aldehyde? Now this is the thing. Now this is the thing. If you see the glucose molecules and the carbohydrate molecules, they will be having a complex molecule, right? In that complex molecule, first to notice now when we take a monosaccharide or when we take hexose, what we look is it a aldose, is it a ketose? How we identify is we'll be looking for this group. We'll be looking for these two group. We'll be looking for these two group, which means now this is the thing. Now it will be looking like this. It will be containing a CH2, it will be containing CH2, it will be containing, now it will be going on, right? Now if you see here, what is this? This is a methane, right? CH4, right? So similar here, similar to this, wait, right? So here it will be going on, but we are not considering about those structures. What we will be checking is we'll be taking a sugar structure. Now see here, I'll for explanation I'll just show. Now see here, if you see here, we'll be taking the structure. If this is the structure, we won't be looking at these carbon. This is a carbon. This now we won't be looking like this. Yeah. Now we won't be looking at here. There's a carbon. Here there's an OH. Here is an OH. We won't be looking at those things. What we'll be looking is as soon as we find a sugar, we'll be looking for this part. Can you see C double bond O C? Right. See here. This is what I have mentioned here. See here. Can you see? Can you see? Do you agree with that? Here. Yes. So this CCC, this is called ketone. If this is present, that compound is called a ketone, right? If this is present, that compound is called an aldehyde, right? It is a ketone, this is an aldehyde. Now you might have learned this, right? Carbon double bond, carbon triple bond, carbon single bond compounds. I hope you have learned this. They have names. Can you give those names in your all of us you have learned? Single bond means alkane. Double bond means what is the name? Double bond means alkene. Very good. Alkene. Triple bond means triple bond means alkyne. Am I right? Am I right? Yes. So here, can you understand? Now, as soon as we see a compound, we won't be looking for all other stuff. We'll be looking whether there is a double bond, whether there is a triple bond, or there is a single bond. Right? Now, you are familiar to this, right? So connect with this. Now, here, how did we identify? Is it an alkene or alkyne or alkane? We were noticing the double or triple or single bonds. So similar to that, here also we'll be taking compound and first to check is are there this compound or is there this complex or is this complex present? We'll be checking whether this is present or this is present. You can understand? Similar to our shopping. Now if you see, mothers normally while they are shopping, first when they take a product, what they'll be looking for the expiry date. After that only we'll be looking at the ingredient, the product's quality, the sugar levels. Those will be considered after. The first priority is the expiry date. So similar to that, here also the first priority is this. So this complexes, these are called functional group. We will be learning this in A level chemistry, right? So now alkyne also is a functional group, right? Now you have familiar with this part. As soon as you see a long carbon compound, you will be looking for the bond. If there is a double bond, you confirm that this is an alkene. If there is a triple bond, you confirm that this is an alkyne. Single bond means it is an alkane. So similar to that, if you take a compound, if you notice this complex C double bond C, this is a ketone. C double bond C O H means it is an aldehyde. Is that clear? Is that clear? Yes. Now you might see, sir, ketone aldehyde, okay, but how the word ketose aldose came? Ah, now if a sugar, now this is a ketone, this is fine. If a sugar contains this, if a sugar contains this complex, it is called ketose sugar. If a sugar contains this, it is called aldose sugar. Is it clear? If a sugar contains, now here see, glucose contains this aldehyde group, so it is called as an aldose sugar. Galactose contains this aldehyde group, so it is called an aldose sugar. Fructose contains this ketone group, so it is called a ketose sugar. Clear, right? Perfect. Then let's move on to the diagram part. So here finally, I guess, here see, according to the type of carbonyl group, keto-aldo group, they are classified as aldose and ketos, right? See here the structure, aldehyde. Now see, this is the solid form of glucose, it seems. Solid form of glucose. Now if you see, there is complexes. These aren't what we are considering. We are considering this. See here, they are given in this structure. Now if you change the orientation, if you change the orientation in this manner, it will be looking like this, right? Sorry. It will be looking like this, right? If you change the orientation. No, no. Rather than changing it in that direction, it is better if you change it other direction, right? It will be easy. If we change it in this direction, what happens? It will be looking like this. See, change. Now it is looking like this, right? I am saying to change it like this. It will be looking like this. Can you understand what I'm trying to convey? Yes. So do you agree that glucose is a aldose sugar? Sorry, yeah, glucose is a aldose sugar, right? Normally, this is the thing. Now, normally, there is a small confusing part, right? Now, when I'm teaching this only, I got that, right? Now, this is the thing. In your syllabus, normally, right? If when you are coming to a latter part of your A level journey, you might realize this. Now you are in your first steps, right? So you might feel a bit difficult. Now, normally ketone means, I said this is a ketone, this is an aldehyde, right? Right now, this is an aldehyde. So glucose is an aldose sugar, right? Glucose and aldose. Now you might ask, sir, now here there is three carbon, right? How come this is an aldehyde? You didn't ask that question from me, right? Now here, sir, there are three carbons and a double bond. That three carbon and double bond is seen in a ketone, right? Now this is a ketone, which means it is a ketose sugar, fructose. Don't you have that doubt? You have that doubt. Do you have it or not? Yes. Now this is the thing. Don't get confused, right? This is how it looks like, right? Actually, but while they consider aldehyde ketone, what they do is for aldehyde they give the priority for this carbon double bond O. Carbon double bond O. If anything that contains carbon double bond O, they consider that is an aldose sugar. Right? See here, ketone group. For ketone group, what they give priority is a ketone group should contain two adjacent carbon to and carbon double bond O connected carbon. Now this is the thing. For a sugar to be finalized as an aldose sugar in your bio syllabus, in your chemistry syllabus C, I'm sure when you're coming across, you will come across these structures. But in your O level, sorry, in your A level bio syllabus, for aldose, they are saying any sugar that contains carbon double bond is said to be an aldose sugar. Any sugar that contains adjacent two carbons, they are considered to be a ketone sugar. Is it clear? Here, they are giving priority only to this part, right? And then here they are giving priority to all these three parts. Now don't worry, because in your A level they won't be expecting these diagrams to be drawn. They have given in their syllabus itself, they won't be asking any of these diagrams to be drawn. You no need to memorize these any of these diagrams. Even these diagrams here, these are seem to be complex, right? None of these need to be memorized, right? None of them are need to be memorized, so don't panic. So simply what you should have the knowledge is hexoses are divided into two. What are the aldose sugar and ketose sugar? Aldose sugar means it contains that aldo group. Aldo group means it is an aldehyde simply, right? Aldo group. Ketose means it contains the keto group. They won't be asking what is the group, draw the group or those things, right? You should have that knowledge. So aldose means there are two aldose. What are they? Glucose, galactose, right? Ketose means fructose. That's it. That's it. They have given in your syllabus. These diagrams they are given just right. Like all over there was some diagrams they were given as an extra knowledge. Like that in A levels for just for a clarification they have given it in diagrams. They won't be expecting any diagrams. Is it clear? Do you find any difficulties here? No, clear, right? Okay. Right. Here, it's an extra information. All trioses and tetroses. Trioses means n equals what number? Trioses means n equal. Trioses means n equal 3. Tetros means n equal. Very good. Tetros means n equal. No, tetros. Tetra. See the word tetra. 4 exactly. Right? All trioses and tetroses in any physical state. Any physical. It can be liquid, it can be solid. Right? These ones and all pentoses. Pentos means n equal tent. N equal 5. Very good. Hexoses means n equal 6. Very good. All pentos and hexoses in solid state are considered to be linear form. Now if you see, right, linear form means like this, writing compounds in this manner as a long chain. This is called a linear form, right? They're saying all trioses and tetroses in any physical state, all pentos and hexos in solid state are written as linear form monosaccharides, right? All pentoses and hexos in aqueous state, which means in liquid form, are considered to be ring. Ring means like this. This is a ring. These are rings, right? Can you understand? Can you understand that? Those 3 points. Is it clear? Clear, right? Okay. That's it. That's the completion of monosaccharides. Just go through the monosaccharide part and let me know if you have any doubt. Right? I hope there's no doubt in monosaccharide. So yeah, this from monosaccharide part. If you have any doubts, let me know. If no doubts, let's move to the disaccharide part. No, we'll be completing the class by 5:30, right? So by 5:30, I'll stop the class. So no need to, leave the class, right? So by 5:30, I'll stop the class. So no need to leave the class, right? Okay. Is it clear this part? Yes. Okay. So then let's move to the disaccharide part, right? Disaccharide means simply this is the idea. Before going on to the theory part, I'll give a small idea and then we'll go. Then we can quickly complete that. Disaccharide means now this is the thing. Two monosaccharides combine or react to form one disaccharide. Now this is the thing. Glucose, is glucose a monosaccharide or disaccharide? Glucose is a monosaccharide, right? Glucose, glucose is a monosaccharide. What type of monosaccharide is glucose? What type? What type of monosaccharide is glucose? I want the specific word. Is it a triose? Is it a tetrose? Like that? What type? Hexose. Very good. What type of sugar is it? Let's revise it, right? What type of sugar is it? There are two types of sugar. Can you understand? Can you remember? Depending on two types of functional groups I gave. What type of sugar is glucose? No, not carbonyl. There are two types: aldose and ketose sugars. Glucose, which to which one of them does glucose belong? Aldose or ketose? So you see here, see hexose. Hexose are divided into two: aldose, ketose. Aldose, very good. Now make sure. No, if you you'll be if you want, you can have you note down this chart. No, right? Make sure you draw this when you get the tute as a hard copy. Yeah, when you get a print. Hopefully next week I'll give the printed copy. So and then you can draw this. Now this will be uploaded in the YouTube, right? So you can watch it and if you want you can write it. If not, you can write it now itself, right? You wrote it. Okay, then good, then very good, right? Okay, so here back to the disaccharide topic. Glucose plus another glucose, now two glucose reacting will produce type of sugar called maltose. Is this the first time you're coming across maltose? Have you heard about maltose before? I hope yes. No? Yes, you have heard about glucose, right? In O levels, it is also a type of sugar. But maltose is a monosaccharide or disaccharide? In O levels. Very good. Maltose, is it a monosaccharide or disaccharide? Maltose, is it a monosaccharide or disaccharide? Disaccharide, very good. Right? Now can you understand how it is formed? By two glucose combining, a maltose is produced. When a glucose and a fructose reacts, a compound is produced. What is that compound? Sucrose, right? I'm sure that you have come across these two, sucrose too, in your levels, right? When a glucose reacts with galactose, what it forms? It forms lactose. Now, these three are disaccharides, right? You can understand. Two monosaccharides react to form a disaccharide. Two monosaccharides react to form a disaccharide, right? But you might ask how. During this type of reaction is called a condensation reaction. Condensation reaction. During this reaction, what happens is, now this is the thing. Now I have given this in technical terms, or I have given in the I have written it literally, right, which means I have given in words, glucose, maltose, right. Now we'll write this complex in chemical terms using elements. Now if we write in elemental form, it will look like this: C6H12O6, which, now this chemical form belongs to which compound? C6H12O6. I hope that you have come across this in your levels. C6H12O6. What does this mean? Monosaccharide? Yeah, okay. I want a specific term. Glucose. Very good, very good. Right? So, glucose plus glucose, C6H12O6. Right? What it form is C12, right? H22O11. And it forms, right? Wait, wait. I'll write it later. Right. Right. Now, this is a glucose. This is a glucose, which means these two are monosaccharides. This is a disaccharide. Now, from your oral chemistry, check, is this reaction balanced? I hope you can identify whether the reaction is balanced, which means now if you see here carbon, 6 carbon, here 6 carbon, now totally in the in the left hand side, 12 carbons are present. So in right hand side also 12 carbons should be present. If that is the case, carbon is balanced. Again, you should compare for hydrogen and check. You should compare for oxygen and check. Let me know by checking, is the reaction balanced or not? No. So to balance, what should happen? Now, what is not balanced? Now, let's say here hydrogen 12, here 12, so total 24, but here 22, which means there are two hydrogens missing. So we can mention it as like this: two hydrogens are missing, right? Hydrogen and oxygen are missing. Very good. So oxygen, if we consider here 6 oxygen, here 6, totally 12. If you consider here only 11, which is one oxygen. Can you understand here? So what is produced at the end? What is this compound produced? Water. So during the now here, see here, while we studied here, did we identify any water producing? No. But see, actually when we see in chemical aspect, we can find that water is produced when, see here, when water is produced in a chemical reaction, that type of reaction is called condensation reaction. What type of reaction? Condensation reaction. So when at the end of a reaction, if water is produced, that is called a condensation reaction. So is this a condensation reaction? Yes or no? Yes, why a water molecule is produced. Right? Okay. Now let's go to the note part. Disaccharides. They are sugars formed by joining two monosaccharides. Correct, right? Two monosaccharides are joined. See here, two monosaccharides. If you see here also, there are two monosaccharides that are joined. Right? But here they are, can you see here? In all three formation, what is contributing? In all three reactions, what is contributing? What sugar? Glucose. So always when a disaccharide is forming, glucose is contributing. Right? Okay. They are sugars formed by joining two monosaccharides by glycosidic bond. Now for the time being, let's bit skip this glycosidic part. I'll come to that point at the end. They have mentioned here. Glycosidic bond is formed by the removal of water molecule from two adjacent monosaccharides by condensation reaction. Water molecule is formed from OH group of one monosaccharide and H of other monosaccharide. Now see here. Now see, this is one glucose, this is one glucose. Can you see? This is one glucose, this is one glucose. Right? Now this is how it looks like. Now can you understand? Now this is up to you. Now glucose, can you no, this is a question from you. Is glucose in solid form or aqueous form here? Now see, this is one glucose, this is one glucose, this is one glucose, right? Now this glucose, is it in its aqueous form or solid form? Solid. You are saying solid. Let's then check here. Say here. Now hexoses in solid form appear in linear form. Hexoses in aqueous form appear in ring form. Is this linear or ring? Is this structure linear or ring? This part. Is it looking like linear means it is like a line. Ring. So ring shapes, ring form of monosaccharides can be noted in which state? Which state? Solid or liquid? Or solid or aqueous? Aqueous state. You should have that knowledge. So as this is the first class, I explained it. So with practice, let's memorize that. Right? Not memorize. You will be getting practice used to that part. Right? Okay. Now this is a glucose molecule. This is a glucose molecule. So these glucose molecules will be reacting. Now see this OH from one glucose, right? And this H from the other glucose will be combining and they will be released as H2O. Can you agree with that? Can you agree with that? See? Yes. Right? So after removing the water, those two rings will be joined. Now see this black one. Those two rings will be joined by this black color. This black color bond is called glycosidic bond. Can you understand that? Instead of those water molecule, the water molecules will completely removed. Those two rings are joined by this glycosidic bond. Clear, right? Now let's come to that part again. They are sugars formed by joining two monosaccharides by glycosidic bond. This is the bond that is joining those two rings, those two sugars. Glycosidic bond is formed by removal of water. Correct, right? With the removal of water, a bond is formed between the rings from two adjacent monosaccharide by condensation reaction. Condensation reaction means water removing reaction. Water molecule is formed from OH group of one monosaccharide molecule and H from another. Correct, right? Now see, it is formed between one OH molecule of one and H of another. Can you see? It is formed between OH of one group of monosaccharide and H of another. Not between two OH. It is between OH of one and H. So it can form an H2O. Can you understand? Is it clear? Yes or no? Yes. So just check these 3 points whether it is clear. If it's clear, let's move on. So just 4 minutes left. So we can complete disaccharides by today. If it's clear, let me know. Clear. Very good. Right. See, this is the reaction. Right. Okay. Now we can agree with this water, right? How this water comes. Right? You can agree with this water, right? How the water comes. Right. Maltose and lactose are, yes. Maltose and lactose are reducing sugars and sucrose is a non-reducing sugar. Now you're familiar with the word reducing sugar, which means maltose and lactose shows brick red precipitation. Brick red precipitation, while sucrose does not show no precipitation with Benedict solution. That is the thing. When we add sucrose into a Benedict solution, no precipitate is formed, no brick red precipitate is formed, right? But maltose lactose show precipitation, brick red precipitation. Is it clear that last point? Is it clear? The last point. Yes. So in your notebook, just now that is the end of disaccharides. You better write this reaction. This reaction in your notebook. Have you written this? Yes, you have written. Ah, okay. Then okay. So okay, then we have completed disaccharide today. Hopefully in next class we'll complete the polysaccharide part and we'll start lipids. Right? Okay then. Thank you for joining the live session. Hope you revise this before the next class. Right? Okay then. Thank you. Goodbye.